Do you know what? I think at the core, this question is actually about God's plan and free will and love. It is about the new heaven and new earth and why didn't God make that perfect in the first place. But ultimately, the answer is because God created a world where he wanted us to freely to choose him, to freely worship him, and to freely discover his love for us. I think if God had made this perfect world where sin wasn't possible, we would all just be robots, kind of working away to this, certain plan, certain way. If there was no free will, I think we'd all be pretty bored. Now, of course we wouldn't, because the world would be perfect. But I think, we'd all be very similar, all doing the same thing. And God didn't want that. God wanted free choice. God also, we've already talked about it, God's plan was a plan of redemption, a plan of making us right with him. And so this plan had to take place. It meant that we almost had to choose not to choose God in order for them to be able to be then made right with God when he sent Jesus to die for us. In short, I think God's plan, and I might be wrong on this, so please don't complain to Steve about me afterwards. But I think God's plan was never to create a perfect world. I think God's plan was to create a world where we got to choose to love God and to serve God, and eventually to know God and be with him forever in the new heaven and the new earth, which will be perfect and it will be free of all these good things. But we have to go through this process of maybe a not so perfect world in order to have that for eternity.